Welcome back to Elfin Code channel. If you have yet not subscribed this channel, please do subscribe this channel and hit the notification button and like the video. So today we are going to start with the generative AI playlist, and this is going to be the first video out of this playlist. Please do watch this video and like the video. Thank you. So today we will be talking about the generative AI. So this is going to be the first video out of this playlist, and in this video we will mostly be focusing on the LangChain. So I mean, if I have to define this LangChain, I can define it with the help of its name only. So the name suggests Lang and chain. So Lang is nothing but LLM, large language processing models, and chain is nothing but when you chained up all this LLM, you will be forming a kind of structure where you have n numbers of LLM available. So this LangChain is nothing but a kind of framework which is being provided to the developers, where they can easily interact with all the existing LLM which are existing. Okay, so here what happens, the developer don't need to actually bother how it has to connect, how it has to take the responses, and whether he need to do different set of programming for different kind of LLM which you want to use it in his programming environment. Instead, he will be just interacting with a framework which is a kind of abstract view framework, LangChain, and this LangChain, with the help of all those parameters which developer will be passing, it will connect to various different LLM model, and it will also throw out the commands, the queries which developer will be passing to this framework, and then this framework will be interacting with this all LLM models and take the response from these LLM model and pass it to the developers. Okay, now thereafter developers may use some kind of UI to display those output, or whatever he want to do, he can do it I mean from the external side. One advantage which I can see from this LangChain is here the developer don't need to actually go and read all this AI practices. Like, you don't need to go and read NLP and or any kind of AI practices. With a mere Python developer, he can use this framework to talk to all this various LLM model, and then on top of it he can make his own business case solved. So for example, I mean, if somebody want to create a kind of app which will be providing a detail of, or I mean, can give any kind of responses towards what name to be picked for his animal, for his kids, or any kind of object which he has. So he can make a kind of name suggestion kind of model with the help of this framework, and he can wrap this engine with some AI, and he can then deliver that business case to the targeted audience. So this is going to be the second use case. One more use cases which can be seen here with the, I mean, which can be solved with the LangChain is I mean, let's suppose you have lots of data which are available in your Google Cloud, Google Drive account, and you want some kind of chat GPT kind of application to be developed, which will be reading out all those data which are there in your Google Drive, and on the basis of those data it should be able to give the responses on all the query which is being asked by the user. If this is a kind of use cases is there, so this LangChain framework will be helping you here as well. Whereas if you look at the traditional LLM model like OpenAI or Hugging Face and all those things, so they are incapable to do all this kind of data mining on your Google Drive or any other object storage which you have. Whereas your LangChain, what it can do, it can read out all the data which is there in your drives, and it will will pass those data to various LLM models, and on the basis of those data which it will be passing, if there are certain questions or queries which developer pass it to the LangChain, it can then interact with the LLM model on those data, and then extract the information from these LLM and pass it to the developers. Okay, so this is one more use cases which can be delivered with the help of this LangChain. There could be one more use case which can be delivered. I mean, you can take this OpenAI example. Now here, if you want to ask something very latest to ChatGPT, then ChatGPT just come up with a response saying that his database or his intelligence is still 2022, and he won't be able to give any response on the post 2022. So this is one of the disadvantage which is there in OpenAI. But with the help of this LangChain, so we can actually resolve this issues very easily, because yeah, it has the ability to even connect to all the external sources like Wikipedia and all. So it can go to the Wikipedia, which is kind of always updated repository, and it can extract the information, and then it can pass out the information which user is asking for. Okay, so this is one more advantage which I can see. And the third advantage which I can see is like, let's suppose you have certain databases existing in your platform, and you want to build a kind of chat model over your database data. So with the existing LLM model, it is not possible, because it won't be able to read the data which is very owned to you. So here in this case, LangChain model will be very helpful, because it can read out your external sources. It can pass that information to various LLM model, and then on the basis of the question, it can retrieve the answer to the existing LLM model. So this is also one more use cases. So it can connect to all these external sources and get the information out of it. And one more advantage of this LangChain is in general, when you are connecting to, let's say, Open API, so you have only one model with which you are interacting, and you are basing your entire business use cases on only one LLM model. Whereas LLM model will give you an option to connect to multiple LLM model which are existing, and which will be forming a kind of chain, and in one query you can get answer. That query may be consisting of n number of prompts, like 3 4 5 different queries, and one query can be answered by one LLM model, second could be answered by second LLM model. So this way also you can do it, make use of all different LLM model which are existing with the help of this LangChain. Okay, so this is one more use cases. Okay, now let us go to this diagram. So now this diagram, it tells that if you see here, this LangChain is sitting in between the use cases which you are trying to solve with the help of LLM model, and the internal of the LangChain. Okay, now what happens whenever you have any kind of business cases for building up some of some a kind of GPT kind of application. So what you can do, you can interact with this LangChain framework, and internally it will be interacting to all these different kind of sources. So it can interact with OpenAI or Hugging Face or Bloom or anything else, and then it can also interact with all the data which is residing in your different file format. It can connect to your Google Drive, it can connect to your databases, it can connect to Wikipedia and all other different sources, and it can extract all the information from this external sources, pass it to the different LLM model, and if there's any query over all your external sources, it can get the response from the existing LLM model and pass it to the developer environment. Okay, so this is how the model works. So it's an abstraction layer over all these different kind of LLMs. Okay. Hopefully you must have understood some basic of this LangChain. In coming video we will be going deep inside the LangChain, and then also try to create some kind of model using this LangChain framework. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe and like this video.